Fatah disappointed with Jerusalem's future status. Biggest seizure of illegal medicinal products in Kelantan. A very good evening. You're watching the evening edition of News on 2 with me, Renee Fong. Palestine's Fatah movement has expressed its disappointment at US President Donald Trump plans to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Secretary of the Revolutionary Council movement, Majid Fitiani, said the act would create further tension and conflict in West Asia. Earlier on Tuesday, Trump had told leaders of the Palestinian Authority in Jordan in phone calls that he intends to move the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. But it remains unclear when he would actually take that step.
We hope that, as we heard from the Prime Minister, Malaysia and the OIC will be giving support for the Palestinian cause, for Jerusalem. Nobody is recognizing this decision, this announcement. Even the EU in Europe also, they are against this announcement. Everybody is telling Mr. Trump to halt this step. Palestine is an occupied country. It is well recognized by United Nations resolution, and Jerusalem is also defined as a capital of this occupied country.
Majid said this during his courtesy call on Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak at the Putra World Trade Center today. They discussed various issues during the 30-minute meeting, which was also attended by Palestinian Ambassador to Malaysia, Datuk Dr. Anwar Al-Agha. 6,864 bottles of unregistered medical products with a market worth of 1.3 million ringgit were seized in an operation dubbed Ops Ghost and a factory in Kota Baru by the Pharmaceutical Enforcement Unit of the Kelantan Health Department. State Health Director Datuk Dr. Ahmad Razin Ahmad Maher said it was the biggest seizure of illegal medicinal products in the state so far this year. According to him, they raided the premise after almost a year monitoring the factory's activities and receiving information from the public.
Dapat menyelesaikan 3 masalah utama yang dibuat tuntutannya tu. Pesakit kecil manis, membaiki pankreas, menurunkan bacaan gula dan buah pinggang kembali berfungsi normal. Itu tuntutan-tuntutan perbuatan yang perlu ada bukti saintifik.
The case is being investigated under Regulation 7, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Control of Drugs and Cosmetics Regulations 1984 for manufacturing unregistered products and is liable for a punishment under Section 12, Subsection 1 of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. 2 men were detained by police for suspected involvement in a syndicate selling fraudulent health clinic medical certificates during 2 separate raids in Melaka. The 2 Malay men were believed to have been running the medical certificate forgery since June. Melaka Deputy Police Chief Dato Son Teo Tia said the first suspect, aged 19, an undergraduate student at the Melaka Institute of Higher Learning IPT, was arrested at a petrol station in Peringit at 9 p.m. on Monday. The second suspect, aged 21, believed to be the mastermind of the syndicate, was arrested while he was printing the medical certificates in Taman Peringit Jaya.
MO yang digunakan oleh sindiket adalah mencetak dan menjual sijil cuti sakit tersebut yang menyerupai sijil cuti sakit yang asal serta mempunyai cop nama doktor, dan pembeli hanya perlu untuk mengisi nama sendiri dan juga tarikh cuti yang diperlukan.
Speaking to reporters, Dato' Son said that preliminary investigations revealed that 300 fake medical certs issued by the two suspects were being sold around Melaka, Johor and Negeri Sembilan. The certs were being sold between 10 to 35 ringgit per piece. The case is being investigated under Section 420 of the Penal Code, and the police are still tracking the remnants of the syndicate. A Form 6 student who was charged for possession of a homemade bomb changed his guilty plea to innocent. The plea was made before Kota Bharu Sessions Court Judge Ahmad Bazli Baharudin. Previously, the accused, aged 19, pleaded guilty on November 5th, charged for the possession of 2 improvised explosive device IED bombs. The accused charged his plea today after appointing lawyer Arif Azami Hussein. The bombs were believed to have been intended for the Better Beer Festival 2017 back in October. The offence was prosecuted under Section 8 of the Firearms Act, Improved Penalty 1971, which carries a jail sentence of up to 14 years and whipping 6 times. The accused also faced 4 other charges, including being involved in Daesh terrorism activities since the age of 12, owning terrorist-related media and documents, provide training through WhatsApp, as well as attending a Daesh training session. In the same court, 2 former military personnel and a labourer faced charges for receiving terrorism training through WhatsApp. The court set January 11th for case re-mention. The Terengganu Disaster Management Committee Secretariat will conduct regular patrol at focal areas in the state following warnings of high tide to happen this Friday. Patrols will be conducted every 4 hours at flood risk areas, namely Pantai Batu Buruk, Pantai Tok Jembal, Kampung Menggabang Teleport, Kuala Besud and Kuala Kemaman. According to the Secretariat Chief, Lieutenant Colonel Che Adam A. Rahman, civil defence members have been divided into several groups. The high tides, which usually occurs from dusk to dawn, are expected to cause sea level to rise up to 2.89 meters. If followed with heavy rain, the situation may result in floodings at coastal areas.
Kita terus menasihati supaya menjauhi kawasan-kawasan yang kita fikirkan bahaya kepada mereka. Sebab kita tahu pada 2 hari lepas kunjungan Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Menteri Besar di Kampung Kolam di Mengabang Telipuk, kawasan yang mana kemungkinan akan terjejas disebabkan oleh hakisan berserta dengan air pasang besar di kawasan pantai tersebut.
Lieutenant Colonel Che Adam, who is also Terengganu Civil Defence Director, said that they are prepared to activate disaster operation rooms should the second wave of floods hit the state. The Terengganu Crime Prevention and Community Safety JPJKK Contingent Headquarters is identifying and gathering information on the actual number of its members who are affected by the recent floods. ACP Rizwan Abdul Hamid said that this is to enable them channel aid such as food items from the state government.
Pada hari ini kita telah melaksanakan program ini kepada 3 buah rumah lah, yang terlibat, di mana JPJKK merupakan bermain peranan lah di sini untuk melihat keadaan-keadaan anggota kita yang dalam kesusahan akibat daripada masalah banjir ini.
Rizwan said this after visiting the homes of the 3 police officers affected in the recent floods at the Taman Desa Baru housing area in Tanjung Damai, Gong Badak, Kuala Nerus, Terengganu. The first phase tour program will be extended to other districts that are also inhabited by policemen and their affected families. The government denies allegations made by some parties that there are limited assets to carry out rescue and evacuation operations at flood-stricken areas in the East Coast. Met by the media at Parliament Lobby, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Sri Dr. Shahidan Kasim, said that via the National Blue Ocean Strategy, all aid work have been set up with all rescue teams in facilitating the aid missions.
Kita mempunyai aset yang mencukupi, yang boleh menampung perpindahan antara 1.5 ke hingga 2 juta orang. Kita mempunyai petugas yang mencukupi, aset mencukupi. Aset ni yang pertamanya telah kita melalui pendekatan emboss, kita telah gembelingkan semua aset daripada agensi. Yang keduanya semua aset NGO kita telah gembelingkan untuk sama-sama membantu mangsa banjir sekiranya berlaku banjir besar di seluruh negara macam tu.
He added that currently 1.8 million Civil Defence Force members nationwide are on standby to lend assistance to flood victims, especially with the prediction of a second wave of floods expected to hit on November 7th to December 10th. The Eastern Sabah Security Command ESCOM's latest success in gunning down a suspect believed to be a member of the Abu Sayyaf group and kidnapped for ransom group during a shootout in the waters of Pulau Kantong Kalungan in Lahad Datu on Monday was a proof of the agency's ability to combat cross-border crimes. The success had also boosted public confidence and support for ESCOM in combating cross-border crimes. Lahad Datu Fishermen's Association Chairman Eskin Haji Ibrahim said the deep-sea fishermen in the area in particular were now more confident of their safety at sea.
Itu menunjukkan bahawa pasukan keselamatan bersungguh-sungguh bekerja keras untuk menguatkan undang-undang di daerah pantai timur Sabah ini. Ini adalah satu kejayaan besar. Tahniah kepada pasukan keselamatan.
Although cross-border crimes in the east coast of Sabah can never be fully eradicated, residents in the area is confident that the ESCOM is currently on the right track in keeping the crimes, especially kidnapping cases, at bay.
Ini adalah kejayaan yang besar bagi kawasan timur ini. Saya harap ini anggota pasukan ESCOM dan polis terus lagi mengambilkan tindakan yang berkuat dan untuk menjaga keselamatan kawasan ini, berikan keyakinan kepada penduduk sini.
A man died when the motorcycle he was riding crashed into a four-wheel drive at Jalan Tun Mustafa, Labuan early today. Labuan Police Chief ACP Azhar Othman said based on investigation, the victim, who was identified as Ramli Samil 20, was heading to Pohon Batu. Prior to the incident, the vehicle had stopped at the left side of the road due to a flat tire before being hit by the motorcycle from the back. The 39-year-old driver of the four-wheel drive was coming out of his vehicle before the accident took place, causing the motorcyclist to be thrown onto the road and face serious injuries to his head. The victim was confirmed to have died at the scene and later sent to Labuan Hospital for post-mortem. The driver of the four-wheel drive, however, only faced minor injuries. The case is being investigated under Section 41, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Roads Transport Act 1987. New Zealand's Governor-General Dame Patsy Reddy, who is on her maiden visit to Malaysia, was accorded a state welcome at the grounds of Parliament today. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Muhammad V attended the state welcoming ceremony, which was also attended by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak. Also on hand to welcome the New Zealand leader was Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and members of the cabinet. The welcoming ceremony began with the rendition of the national anthems of both countries by the Royal Malay Regiment Central Band from the Sungai Besi camp, followed by a 21-gun salute. Dame Patsy then inspected a guard of honour mounted by 4 officers and 103 men of the 1st Battalion of the Royal Malay Regiment, led by Major Muhammad Ikram Muhammad Rosli. Later in the afternoon, Dame Patsy visited the Malaysian Islamic Art Museum and Sultan Abdul Samad Jami' Mosque. Tonight, Dame Patsy will be feted at the state banquet at Istana Negara. The 4-day state visit of Dame Patsy is at the invitation of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Coming up next, Wanita UMNO ready to face challenges and GE14. Thanks for staying with us. As usual, let's take a look at the latest weekly fuel price effective midnight. The spirit of togetherness among members of Wanita UMNO is at its peak under the astute leadership of Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak. Its chief, Datuk Sri Shahrizad Abdul Jalil, said this puts the party at a very strong position to face the coming 14th general election. Speaking in PWTC today, Datuk Sri Shahrizad said she was optimistic that the element of togetherness would play a major part to ensure a big victory for UMNO and Barisan Nasional.
Anytime saja Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri Malaysia membubarkan parlimen, wanita Barisan Nasional khususnya wanita UMNO, kita dah ready. Kita dah bertugas dah lebih kurang 4 tahun dah untuk menyediakan menghadapi PRU 14. Kita ada sistem kita, disiplin kita, sebab kita adalah regimen jentera pilihan raya yang terbesar.
She also reminded Wanita members who are selected as candidates to be on their toes and be prepared should they be nominated to contest in the opposition stronghold. Bank Negara Malaysia urged the public to be cautious and aware of the modus operandi of illegal money lenders who use a counterfeit money lending license, supposedly issued by the central bank. The purpose of this scam is to deceive the public to make an initial payment for a variety of purposes related to loans such as administrative expenses, stamp duty and legal fees. Bank Negara Malaysia in a statement disclosed that this fraudulent activity is carried out through websites, social media, phone calls, SMS, email and other forms of communication. The central bank also pointed out that they have not issued any license granting a loan. Instead, it is regulated under the Money Lenders Act 1951 and administered by the Ministry of Housing and Local Government. Bank Negara also urged all victims of financial fraud to report the matter immediately to the police to facilitate investigations. Affin Hwang Asset Management Berhad's Affin Hwang AM First Exchange Traded Fund ETF began its trading on the main market of Bursa Malaysia today at RM1.73, 1.5 cent over its issue price on a volume of 2,000 shares. The ETF, known as Trade Plus Sharia Gold Tracker, aims to closely track the performance of gold prices. Speaking in a press conference after its listing ceremony today, Affin Hwang AM Managing Director Teng Chew Wai said the company believes that the fund's size will grow to 100 million ringgit to 200 million ringgit within a year.
We believe over time this product will grow and will grow to 100 million easily. 1 to 200 million over the next 1 year easily. And that's probably where we are, that's where we hope to build the portfolio. And over time, as you know, these things gathers momentum. And when does it really move in or grow in a much significant manner is when people start to chase gold as an asset class. That's when this will become a nice alternative, a very easy access for them.
Teng added the company had previously invested 20 million ringgit of its shareholders' funds into the ETF as seed money. He said when the public starts to chase gold as an asset class during the global uncertainty, that is when the ETF is expected to grow massively in size. Nelo Vingada has resigned as head coach of the Malaysian football team barely 6 months after taking the job. The Portuguese coach said that he took responsibility for the performance of the team after discussions with Football Association of Malaysia FAM President Tunku Ismail Ibni Sultan Ibrahim. In a release statement, he said that with this sense of responsibility, he hereby announces that he relinquishes his position as the national head coach with immediate effect, and FAM president himself has also accepted his decision. He added that two of his assistants, Joel Arnaldo Correa de Carvalho and Francisco Jose Bruto da Costa, have also resigned from their respective positions as national assistant coach and national fitness coach respectively. Under Vingada, Malaysia lost 6 of the 7 matches they played, including 4 Asian Cup qualification matches. Vingada had previously shouldered the blame for the poor results of Harimau Malaya and admitted that the team are not ready to compete at the Asian level. He also said that he had never experienced such poor results with any team previously. News on 2. In our top story, Fatah disappointed with Jerusalem's future status. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Renee Fong. Thanks for watching and have a pleasant evening.